Sorry about that. Welcome to the Headline Eye. I am your host, Larry H. Gardner, and the H stands for shout out to the Houston Texans last night. Ooh, I know my Pittsburgh fans are mad. The Houston Texans beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh at the wild card playoff game, which capped off a whole bunch of wild card craziness with the Bears and the Packers, the Bears winning. Shout out to DJ Chicago, who's a Bears fan, and shout out to everybody else that, you know, their teams won respectively. But out of that debacle in Pittsburgh, where the Steelers only scored 6 points and lost another playoff game, head coach Mike Tomlin has stepped down from his post after 19 seasons. So, again, I'm going to get on your nerves, Pittsburgh fans. This is Larry H. Gardner, the Headline Eye, WNRV108.1.com. Nerve DJs, we get on your nerves. Miss Lexus has returned. Miss Lexus, how you doing?
Great. It's Lexus Bogan here.
That's going on. So, how was your New Year's and Christmas?
It was really great. I spent time with my family and my kids. New Year's, it was kind of... It was giving sleep. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, okay. What was you doing on New Year's? And it must have carried on because you weren't here last week.
So, yeah, no, I had a head injury. So my son, he has a thing with water, and I went with the granny slippers and slurp, and I fell on top of my head, and it hurt so bad. I literally fell, boom, flat on my head.
I'm glad that you here.
And I know I raised my kids right, because as much as I know they wanted to laugh, they didn't.
That's good.
They came to my aid, and they rubbed my head and made sure I was okay.
Lord,
but it was funny, though. It was funny.
Not as much as that Pittsburgh Steelers been hurting their head, beating their fists to the TV last night. Bang, bang. Listen, y'all talk about the Browns fans calling us clowns and saying that it was conspiracy theories that Pittsburgh lost to Cleveland and yada, 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 yada. Listen, I'm going to just bring the facts out there. The last time the Pittsburgh Steelers went to the Super Bowl was in 2010. They lost to the Green Bay Packers. That starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers was Aaron Rodgers. Pittsburgh lost their, seventh playoff game last night. You know who was the starting quarterback for that team? You guessed it, Aaron Rodgers. So either way it goes, whenever Aaron Rodgers is in the playoffs against the Pittsburgh Steelers or for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he makes sure y'all lose every single time. Thank you, Aaron. Send that into retirement for you. By the way, Aaron Rodgers threw a touchdown pass to the other team, pick six, that ended the game. But I'm going to leave y'all alone because there's some serious things going around here. I went to first of all, speaking of winning football team, shout out to the Glenville Tar Brothers football team, state champions again. They were at the City of Cleveland City of Cleveland Councilman's meeting last night, open forum public meeting last night, along with Abdullah Mason, the champ. He had the heavyweight champ, I think the light heavyweight champ. He had his belt down there, and a couple of people were celebrated and things of that nature. So shout out to those Glenville boys, those Glenville young men for winning another state championship. I think that is two in 3 years, T-Rex? You don't know?
My bad. 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4.
Get it correct.
3 out of 4. Okay. All right.
Shout out to the Glenville. It's very rare for Cleveland public schools. A lot of these teams that be winning be private schools. This is a Cleveland public school.
Thank you.
Never been done before in history. Shout out to the Tar Brothers.
And shout out to head coach Ted Ginn Sr. Also, his son Ted Ginn Jr. is also going to be the coach of another football team in Columbus. I think it's a semi-pro league. So shout out to the Gins. Shout out to everybody winning. I see everybody winning. But I got to be on a serious note right about now. In the state of Minnesota, we noticed there were protests around the nation, 2 in the city of Cleveland, about the murder of Renee Good, who was pulling away when an ICE agent pretty much went to the side of her car and shot her 2 times, and unalived her. Now, the thing about ICE Is this supposed to be for undocumented immigrants, hauling them in, which I feel like that this is a sick way to do some things. But this administration, the Trump administration, this is a sick administration. I'm just saying it right now. I'm saying it's a sick administration, and the officer who did that should be put behind bars. He should be arrested because that was murder. There's articles in the Constitution saying that you should not do that as a officer of the law. And I don't know where Vice President J.D. Vance, this couch hummer, and Trump and all these other cronies want to bash this dead woman. Also, if my Republican friends brought up a black man was killed by ICE in December, both of those are wrong. But y'all but to my Republican MAGA people that support Trump, especially you black folks, I'm not gonna call y'all what I want to call y'all. You black folks that support Trump, y'all conveniently just remember the black man getting killed by ICE and saying, well, this white woman got killed by ICE. She's getting more reps than him. The thing about it is like it's both getting reps, and the thing about it is like I didn't mention it on my show. Don't come for me because I was off for 2 weeks while this was happening. Now that I'm back, I'm going to mention every single person that get killed by ICE and how there are the Gestapo region of the Trump administration. They are disgusting, they are disturbing, and they are damn right wrong. And I'm sick and tired of everything that Trump does being justified by some of you African American folks who support him. He is wrong. He is a dirty, rotten person, and he should have been in jail a long, long time ago. I'm holding back because my guest is here, and I might need some mental health care. But speaking of health care, we are going to bring my guest on. T-Rex, could you play the entrance music, please? I don't want to go off any further. Now, if you heard of Vital Home Care or Vital Care Period LLC, you heard about this wonderful woman. You heard about what she's doing. She is a longtime friend of the family, first-time guest on the Headline Eye. Please welcome my friend and yours, Miss Crystal Harris. Hey, lady.
Hey, thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm here.
I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here. I said we was gonna start the year with some bomb guests. We had Meredith Turner last week, and now we got Crystal this week. Yes. So the thing about it is that how did you come about starting these two services for healthcare?
Well, I've been in healthcare for over 20 years. So I started off as a home health aide, and then I transitioned to a state tested nursing assistant, and then went on to become a nurse. So I've always been in the care industry in some sort. And so I never really was someone that conformed to the bedside type thing. I wanted to figure out a way to help others in more, let's say, unorthodox way. So as the years went on, I just looked at some of the things that we needed within a community. My first business that was birthed is Vital Care Services. It's a mobile post-op care business. So really how that came about is that I was noticing that a lot of women of color were going to have elective procedures in silence. And what elective procedures are, procedures that normally are not covered by your insurance. So they may be mommy makeovers, a woman who has had maybe a double mastectomy and she wants to have breast augmentation, or she's had 5 or 6 children and her body is now different and she wants to feel good about herself and get a mommy makeover. And so for whatever reason, our culture has made you feel some type of way about doing what makes you happy. And so I wanted to provide a safe space for women of color that want to do something that makes them feel good. Now, that doesn't mean that if you're on your 6th BBL that I'm going to service you.
Right.
Yeah.
This really needs to be something that I have a lot of weight loss surgery patients. You know, you've lost 300 pounds and now you are depressed because your body it doesn't look like you would like it to. So I birthed that because I actually went to a couple women's funerals because they had surgery in silence. and infection set in and things of that nature. So what I do is I travel with them when they want to go and have surgery. I try to convince them not to go out of the country and to have surgery here in the States. It's just too much red tape. And then I travel with them, make sure they're okay. I'm an advocate for them. A lot of times they're going by themselves, and they're in these recovery homes of people that have no real clinical background. So I go in and make sure they're okay. I fly back with them. When they come home, I have a spa that's attached to my home, and I give them the lymphatic massages. I take their vitals, I remove their sutures, I remove their drains. Because a lot of times when you go to Miami and have surgery and then you come back here, doctors and surgeons don't want to touch you. People don't want to touch you.
Right.
So I give them a safe, comfortable, sterilized location so that they can safely recover and have the best optimal results possible. So that was my baby. That's my most, and then everything's vital. So, and I came up with the word because to me, everything that's important is vital. So care is vital. And so as Larry and I have spoken about on many occasions, our peers are now facing a time where we are having to bury our parents.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately.
So the second business is Vital Care Homes, which is a residential assisted living facility. We have 5 beds. We specialize in Alzheimer's and or dementia patients. This is another option. When you're aging, normally people know about going into a nursing home or home care.
Right.
This is an additional option. My home is a ranch-style home. It's on the border of Euclid and Richmond Heights. It's all ADA approved. It's handicap accessible. We have all of the things. So people can come in assisted. I'm a nurse. They can stay through the duration, meaning if they need to go on hospice, they need wound care, we can have those services come in for them. This is their home for the duration, and they're loved on there just as they would be in a facility or at their home, but safe and more intimate.
When did you open up the facility?
The facility, I got the keys for the facility in January of 2024. But because of all of the red tape in Ohio, because this is a very new model for Ohio, I had to kick some doors in, and it's really, really going to be something that's groundbreaking for this particular state. It's not as common. It's more common in Florida, Arizona, California, places like that where it's warmer, where we call them snowbirds, I think.
Right.
Yeah, people move to warmer climates so that, you know, they can retire there. So Ohio's been tough, but I wasn't stopping. It was my dad's vision 10 years ago, and that gave me more fire to make it happen when he passed in June. And I was able to move him into my facility for the last 8 days of his life. And so that meant a lot because it was his vision.
Wow.
Yeah. So care is vital.
And hopefully with that, your dad's vision, God bless him, will keep going. So with that being said, there's you said a lot of red tape.
Yes.
Do you think that it was red tape just because you're an African American woman, or just red tape period? Or was there extra stuff heaped on you?
I definitely think it was a lot of red tape because I'm an African American professional woman. I'm a nurse. A lot of people who own these homes are not nurses. You don't have to be. Assisted living is non-clinical. We can bring in clinical components. So it definitely makes a lot of other people feel some type of way. So also the red tape is just not being familiar. I am on a residential street, so my neighbors could say, we don't want this type of home here. And people do that sometimes with group homes. You know, they don't want people with mental health issues on their street. They don't want people with behaviors and things like that. My residents are elderly. They're in the bed by 7:30, 8 o'clock. You know, we're not making a whole bunch of noise and ruckus. You know, the police isn't visiting often. We're very quiet and to ourselves. So that part they don't have to worry about. But yeah, it was the red tape and the, you know, no, you can't do that. But on black and white, when you Google it, you can. It's a thing. It's a chance of making a lot of money off of me.
Oh, wow.
So that's where it really lands. Yeah.
Alexis, you wanna ask Crystal a question?
Yes. So I definitely feel like you are very strategic just off of the things you said, as far as the things you put into the business and how you're going about it, to keep extra people getting out of your pockets or whatever. So I did want to compliment you on that.
Thank you.
Also too, it's funny that you said about like the nursing home option, and because my little sister works for a nursing home, and she's about to resign to go somewhere else because she says that it's so understaffed that people with dementia, hospice patients, for one, they're being sent there to die, not to live in a deadly sickness, but to die. And she said that there were nights where that she was there, and there were people who are just like falling, like nobody, they don't have a sitter, so they're just falling over, head getting busted multiple times. The family members are not checking in, suing, pushing, nothing. I mean, people literally will send these elderly people to these facilities. Nobody cares about them. Nobody's fighting for them because you're old and you're going to die one day. So the fact that you do have enough care to organize your business in the home and make sure that they're on a schedule and they are properly taken care of, whether it's just 5 or not, that's 5 more people who are cared for.
I agree.
So that's not really a question, that's just more of a compliment.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you bringing up that fact, because that is I worked in nursing homes before. And sometimes you can be a really good nursing assistant, but if you have 50 residents, if you have 50 patients, how can you really provide quality care? You know, and so those folks are sitting there in urine, and guess what urine does? It breaks down, and now you have a bed sore. And the reason that you're in the facility no longer becomes the importance. It's the bed sore that's going to take the person out before the diabetes or the heart disease. So giving that quality of care of the people who paved the way for us is very important. Me being an advocate for someone who may not know what today is, they may not know their name, is very important to me. I will run through a brick wall for someone who paved the way for us. And I don't know why people don't care. And you're right, they do feel like, oh, they're old, they're grumpy, they smell, you know, it's like all these negative things. No, without them, we wouldn't be here.
Right.
Their care is vital. They are vital. This is where I get the whole mission from, because the neglect is serious. And guess what, guys? We are next.
Yeah.
We next.
You're right. Everybody got to get old. No, you're right about that.
Yeah. So what does that look like for us?
You're right. We're going to want someone to love us and have patience with us.
Somebody said when
Larry, you can come with me. It's okay.
Thank you. Somebody. But I think me and my friend shout out to Sultan Jones, said it best that when this was right when my mother's services was happening in March of last year, after I came from the view, which is here from the repass. It's like we are next.
Yeah.
We are up, and we don't think about that because we are not here.
Right.
Until an elder goes, and then, oh, wait, I'm getting older as well. What? Okay, so we have to make sure that, like I said, take care of your mental and physical health, because I'm seeing a lot more obituaries. By the way, speaking of obituaries, and I didn't bring this up earlier, the AB member of Adrenaline Rush, Rayshawn Ray Reed, passed away last night, and I'm sending out condolences to his brother Charles and his cousin as well. They were part of the teen group Adrenaline Rush back in the day in Cleveland, Ohio, and little Rayshawn Reed, the youngest member, passes away. And we got to remember that not just us, but people younger than us, and maybe in their 20s and stuff like that, if there's something happen to them,
right,
they can die as well or need care. So of course the question, have you had people that you had to care for who were younger than you in your career?
In my career, yes. People have had traumatic accidents. Some people who have it's called early onset dementia, and it may be from a fall, like, you know, hitting your head, a car accident. Sometimes a traumatic event causes someone to have, in the beginning they'll call it amnesia, but then they end up with early onset, and they can be in their 40s. And so the sad part is that their body still operates like a 40-year-old. Their mind is just not. So they still have the emotions that they want to have a companion. They still want to be, maybe dress a certain way and look a certain way. So how do you put them in a nursing home? And their care is going to be different. So everybody in my home gets a specialized care plan. That's very important because everybody's care doesn't look the same. Everybody in the house can be 75. The care is going to be totally different. Mm-hmm. But I have had to care for younger people because of illnesses that are taking over in an early stage.
What was the youngest?
The youngest patient I've ever had, because I am a care manager for United Healthcare as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the youngest person I've had was in their 30s.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then also early stages of Alzheimer's can pop in, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Dementia can roll over to Alzheimer's. It's all pretty much something that they don't really, they just go off of they give you a test. It's called an Alzheimer's test. And I encourage everybody to just start doing brain exercises, doing puzzles and what have you, because some of the greatest people that have been before us have ended up with Alzheimer's. Einstein, they later found out when they did his autopsy that he had white plaquing particles on his brain. So he had Alzheimer's. He was brilliant, right? Mm-hmm. He used his brain cells a lot. A lot of people who are ending up with it today have stressful jobs, have stressful lives. We have to figure out a way to channel our stress.
What's the best way as a healthcare professional like yourself for people to channel their stress?
We do a lot of music therapy. That's why when you played my song, I was excited because for me, it's therapeutic. Mm-hmm. I think, I'm getting more into yoga. I haven't gotten it yet. I was like, who's going to help me get up off the floor? I haven't figured that part out yet. But I know that yoga is supposed to be really, really good too. And having an outlet. Like I said, my dad passed in June. I had several other people pass after that, cousins that were close to me. I just started grief counseling recently,
Aww.
and I feel bad for her. I was like, I think my therapist is gonna need a therapist.
Right.
And she's like, no, she exercises 6 days a week. That's how she channels her mental, because people are dumping on her all week,
Mm-hmm.
So we all have to figure out a way. Music is the first for me, and whatever your hobby is.
I think that music has always been a wonderful sight. Like everybody thinks that they have their own theme music every time they step up and wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
So, just like, and sometimes it can change, depends on the mood. Sometimes the mood can be melancholy and you listen to a certain song. Mm-hmm. Ever since Ma passed, I really can't stop listening to Luther. I can't really listen to Luther that much because I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
I don't want to, every time So Amazing comes on, I'm like, what? I'm just going to change that.
Yeah. Right.
And there's some people that I don't want to listen to anymore. R. Kelly and Nicki Minaj, just to name a few. Stop throwing shots at Nikki. She shouldn't have been over there with MAGA. That's what I'm trying to say. But that's neither here nor there. So pretty much you said that your care is different, set up differently. How do you determine the care that a certain individual gets?
We first, before they even can move into the home, I go and I interview them in their environment because they have to work within the dynamic. Keep in mind, this is a ranch-style residential home. This is a regular home, like how you are in your home. So we're not in a facility where people have lots and lots of feet away from each other. We have to my goal is to operate like a family. Okay, so when I go in their environment, I need to see how they are living in their environment. So we don't want to bring in hoarders. You can't come in doing drugs or being physically aggressive and things like that. Now, don't get me wrong. With the Alzheimer's and dementia, sometimes they can be a little combative. That's usually because of anxiety. The anxiety causes them to be combative because they're confused. So if we can channel the anxiety with music therapy, I have a patient who carries a baby doll. But because even though she has dementia, she never has forgotten how to nurture a baby. So that channels her energy when she's upset. So I go into their environment, I interview them there, and then I have them come and do a tour. Then we sit down and we talk about what are the family's Goals. What are your goals? What are your expectations? And we see if we meet in the middle. We talk about pricing, of course. Currently, I accept private pay and long-term care insurance.
Okay.
That's another thing the state of Ohio is trying to give me kickback. They don't want to license me through waiver because they said, oh, you have to have a bedroom attached to every bedroom. Well, I have one bedroom. It's a master suite, so we can license that one room, and I can put my waiver folks in there, you know. So we're gonna find the workaround for that. But nonetheless, once we decide, okay, they'll be a good fit, I sit down and I do a journal, a care assessment. Once they move in, within the first 24 hours, I do a head-to-toe assessment, just to make sure that if they have any bruising, wounds, things like that. We come up with meals that are appropriate. We have to do the whole shebang, you know. Personal care, what does that look like for them? Do they need assistance or not? You know, are they a fall risk? How are we doing with their medications? Can they take their own meds, or should we be managing them? So we just do the whole thing in reference to the care assessment, and that's how they are usually brought into our home. We get a lot of people are coming now via respite care. Respite care is short term. So I get folks like, let's say they live with their daughter and the daughter wants to go out of town for the weekend. They'll come and stay with me from Thursday to Monday. You know, or they're going on a cruise for a week. So they don't have to put them in a nursing home.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Nursing home requires usually 30 days at least for them to bill insurance.
Do you, I'm sorry, this is a little, but I actually have a grandmother. Now, my auntie takes very good care of her mother,
Yeah.
so she wouldn't necessarily need to be in a home or anything like
Yeah.
that. But do you offer services where if my aunt and her husband went out of town, that somebody could come to the home?
I don't offer them that.
Okay.
I mean, I always know of people, but it's difficult
Okay.
to refer people.
Okay.
If you understand, like
Yeah.
I know people that could probably come over and do things, but you know, it's hard to refer
Yeah.
folks. You
It's
just
hard to
never
find
know
good
what-
help
yes,
these
it
days.
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, being that she's going to be there alone, you have to be someone that they can trust and things like that.
Okay.
So they usually bring them to me short term, because one thing, like for your aunt, I always try to let us know it's okay to say we need a break. We usually can tell when the caregiver's burnt out. You can look at the caregiver and say, this person hasn't slept.
Okay.
This person is so consumed with the patient's care that they're not going to their own doctor's appointments. They're not taking their own time. If they're married, you have to take that time for your marriage. You know, maybe take a vacation, and it's okay. So I try to provide a safe space.
Right. I
Gotcha.
I give a shout out to my sister when she, you know, I was, you know, by myself pretty much going to visit my mother, and the weather conditions were not ideal in between January and February and March. When my sister until my sister Sharitha came up from Vegas in February to be there, and the first thing she realized that it's cold. I'm like, yeah, welcome back to Ohio. So it is, and sometimes you do, no matter, even if you got to visit a person in a facility, you still get burnt out. So
Yeah.
I do understand. So how are you trying to expand in other states after you do this, or are you trying to just stay in the Midwest in Cleveland?
Well, I'll probably open a couple more homes here. One in particular for veterans. I think veterans are another component that is a need, and for some reason they're just forgotten about.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I think it's just because they don't understand the resources that are available for them. So I just kind of want to be that even medium in between. But I'll open a few more homes. My real goal is that I want to educate other people. Open these homes. If you don't really conform to the big box facility thing, get together with your siblings and say, hey, you know, we just inherited mom's house. Let's see what it looks like to license mom's house and put, you know, her siblings in there. You know, or maybe we can schedule it for ourselves. So I do offer consultations and mentorships to people to teach them.
So there seems to be a relation in housing and the business. If you are able to get the housing through the real estate, then you could somehow start a business that way with
You
the group
can.
home.
You actually
Okay.
don't have to own the home. You can rent the home.
Okay.
Yeah, you can rent the home. That's the misconception a lot of people have. You can
Okay.
rent the home. You just have to have the agreement with the owner.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, have you been funded? Have you been funded with grants or with everything else that you've done? How did you get funded?
Well, a lot of savings. I no longer have a retirement, so I bet it all on
Okay.
black. So no, there's not. There are.
That was funny. That was so
She
funny.
did it all on
I
black.
bet it all on black. So there's no way that it's not gonna work. All of it is set up in its divine order. So I was okay with taking the risk. I think wealthy people, successful people are not afraid to take the risk. So, but there are grants and scholarships available. I just didn't have the time because it's time consuming. My parents were declining by the day, and I needed to come up with this for them.
You need to come up with this quick,
Yes.
quick and hurry.
Yes.
It's like now it's like I'll just risk it all.
Yes.
You know.
And you took your real life story
Yeah.
and something that you had to solve, and you found a solution with your issue, with your business.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. I think that's why I have so much passion for it, you know.
That's what's up. That's what's up. You know, I'm grateful for you, and I've known you for a while. And shout out to Stacy Lester,
Yeah.
my cousin. So I had to bring you on here because I don't want you to strangle me. And when am I getting on? I'm like, soon. Hold on.
I appreciate
Don't
it.
kill me.
I appreciate
I'm
it.
not trying to die. Or get injured. Then you would have to take care of me.
Oh my God. Yeah. That sounds like a
The
setup.
radio show will be at the Vital Home Care.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly. It's like
Coming live.
My name's Larry Gardner. I'm here because Crystal injured me because I ain't put her on quick enough.
Right.
But we gotta take a break. when we come back, we're gonna talk about the federal government and how it's affecting healthcare for businesses like Vital Services LLC and Crystal's business and things of that nature. And being a black woman in this administration in general, I know it's stressful. So we gonna
Artist or podcaster and you've thought about having your own mobile app? BV Mobile Apps could be the solution. They specialize in creating apps with live audio streams, mixes, music, and songs. You can integrate your social media, videos, blogs, and most importantly, send push notifications to your followers. For more information, bvmobileapps.com or on social media at BV Mobile Apps. That's B as in business, V as in victory, bvmobileapps.com.
Hey y'all, this is Catherine Danielle, and I'm checking in with Headline Eye on WNRV 108.1.
What do you get when you take two witty nerds and two of the best pair of hands since Techniques 1200s? Or better yet, Grandma's fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, and greens on Sunday after church. Hallelujah! Then for dessert, the dopest blend of classic R&B and hip-hop joints all whipped up in one big sexy mixing bowl. You know what you get? The Party and Bull Show. That's right. Heard 7 days a week. Make sure you check your station for days and times. It ain't what you used to, and it's better than what you thought. It's the most unprepared show on the planet. You never know what we gonna say or who's gonna stop by. It's the Party and Bull Show with Dave Tolliver, Tiffany Nicole, DJ Cochise, and DJ Deuce, aka the Final Four. Turn it up in the whip, turn it up loud on Saturday while you cleaning. We the best, and I ain't talking about DJ Khaled. We up and we on. Check your stations for days and times. Party and Bull-ish, cause everybody loves a party, and Bull-ish ain't always bad. I holla, yeah man.
Hi, it's your girl Lisa Dollar, and I'm locked in with the Headline Eye on WNRV 108.1.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what Cleveland needs, wants, and has been waiting for. Johnny Mac and DJ Ellery present The Experience, Cleveland's first annual R&B Hip-Hop Gala. Saturday, February 7th, 2026 at the OR Venue Clee, 4700 Lakeside Avenue. Red carpet photo shoot at 7 p.m. Event ends at 1 a.m. 30 and over. Formal attire is mandatory. Tickets $40 for singles, $75 for couples. Early ticket purchase is strongly suggested. Tickets also available at the following ticket outlets: Diamond Cuts Barbershop, 5139 Superior Ave. Fashions by Fowler, 13226 Shaker Square. Mr. Albert's Men's World, 618 Prospect Ave. Call DJ Ellery at 216-254-5909 or Shawnee Mac at 216-235-4296 for more information. Check it out, Cleveland. We changing the game with this formal wear event. Early ticket exclusive table purchase is mandatory and strongly suggested.
Hi, it's your girl Lisa Dollar, and I'm locked in with the Headline Eye on WNRV 108.
Classic.
Had a classic beat to it, so it's like, speaking of classic, we have a classic person here in Crystal Harris of Vital, Vital Home Care Incorporated. LLC, excuse me. But Crystal, I have a question for you. With this administration changing in the healthcare and everything else like that, how hard has it been as an African American woman like yourself to deal with healthcare in this administration, and then and of course with everything getting cut, especially in Ohio, how hard is it to pretty much get revenue?
So for me, since currently I accept private pay and long-term care insurance, the biggest thing that may be little bit of a minus for me is just that people's their funds are being cut, or their lifestyle is costing more. My home is privately owned, so it doesn't run under basically the funding of the state of Ohio. So that's the plus. When you have like group homes, people who are receiving SSI and things like that, and that's how you fund your home, those homes were a little more affected than, say, my home was.
Right.
I would say more of my residents are affected more than probably my home, meaning they don't want to go to the doctor, so they're coming to me sicker. They're not going to the doctor as often because they can't afford, now that they have copays that are more expensive. They can't afford the increase in medications. They can't find the resources that they need to help sustain their illnesses, and they're stressed, so they're sicker.
Wow. So the thing about it is, like, they are not. So because of the resources being cut, they come to you in worse health than they would have been. So
absolutely.
How do you feel about the current administration in the White House right now?
I just don't think that anything that's happening currently is for us.
Yeah,
As a whole, it's not any, and that was what was basically said, and the people who did buy into that really thought that was going to happen, that we were going to have all these resources, and it was just a smokescreen. We are really, really in a difficult time with jobs, with health care. It's just really a sad space for us. I'm disappointed, and it's very unsettling, because healthcare that's like the nucleus of our lives. If we're not good inside and mentally and physically, what else are we doing?
You can't really do anything.
Yeah.
You can't produce nothing if you're not producing your mental is not producing, you can't produce nothing or service anybody.
Yeah.
If you're not good yourself.
Right.
Even when you have a doctor's appointment, the visits are quicker. People, they got all these interns that don't know what they're doing watching you.
Yep.
And then it's real quick, and then they in the room for 2 minutes, and then they're gone, and you're sitting there for 10 minutes. They give you paper and you leave. Like, what did I even just come here for?
Yeah. Things are getting missed. People don't have transportation to get there. It's just, it's a ripple effect, and we call it in nursing Maslow's hierarchy. And so now you have people who can't, their food stamps got cut, their resources about food, and their light bill is really high. So you're not worried about going to the doctor if you don't have any food.
Right.
If your lights are off. We have to start at the top and work all the way down.
No communication to the phone off.
Right.
Lights off.
Right.
Gas off. Can't
And
cook.
it's sad how they're it's sad how they're doing diabetics. Like, my grandmother has diabetes, and she can't even afford her syringes half the time.
Insulin is at
I think anybody with a sickness such as diabetes, where you have to have that medicine, it should not be so expensive.
Chronic asthma, inhalers. People were really struggling to get their inhalers. EpiPens was like a huge thing. You should have your EpiPen. If you don't, some people will truly go into anaphylactic shock and they cannot breathe. So, but in order to have it, you have to pay $200 or whatever the ticket is on it.
The big beautiful lie, or AKA the big beautiful bill, was everything was going to get lower. We were going to get less taxes. But the thing about it is, like, by the way, nobody is getting a tariff check. Letting y'all know right now, it's not happening.
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
Period. It was a lie. Like that Doge check was a lie. I don't know why y'all fell for that dumb shit. But excuse me, I didn't mean to curse, Crystal. Give me. But
No, that was appropriate. That was very appropriate to say.
So, here's my question as far as how hard is it to get good help in this field, especially since you just got into the care facility business?
Yeah. It's difficult. It's very difficult because you have to think about this. For one, in my facility, you don't have to be state tested. Assisted living facilities usually just require you to know first aid and CPR. They may require you to have MedPass certification, and I require my staff to go through an 8-part Alzheimer's training within the first 30 days, just because we specialize in that. That's a me thing. That's not a state of Ohio thing. We also do a lot of education throughout the duration, but I get a lot of STNAs, folks that are coming out of big box facilities. They're burnt out, burnt to the core, and I get it. I used to work in one, and they come to my facility where there's only 5 people, and they can't wait to sit down. Yeah. I'm watching them on the camera falling asleep. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, wait, what are we doing? What am I paying you for?
Yeah.
And they know they're on camera.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Go ahead.
Yes, it's difficult. And then you have to trust that people are going to do the right. I mean, they have to pass a 5-point background check. So that eliminates some people. Really, I'm going to tell you, the best folks that I've had are people who have personal experience. That means I cared for, it's very important, I cared for my mom, my dad. That's where you weren't paid. My aunt, my grandma, and you enjoyed it. That's what I'm looking for.
And then you'd be like, I get paid for this?
Right.
Like, this is nothing.
Right.
I'm with you
I
on
used
that.
to do this all the time. And so that's really, really what I like to hear when I'm doing those interview questions with them. It's difficult. Right now, I just told you guys, I had to let everybody go. January 1st, it's just me. I got to start from the bare bones.
Yeah, but when I did home health aid a little bit, I felt like I was starting to get better when I started to get attached to the client, and she started telling me her business, like her personal business, and she even had me like take pictures of her and her little outfits and stuff. And I'm like, that's how you know you're building rapport and people feel comfortable. And when I left, she was pissed.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, because you were her safe space. She felt comfortable, and it takes a while to build a rapport, and that's what I want them to do. Come in, learn our residents individually, build a rapport with them, gain they're gonna tell you no the first 30, maybe 40 times. You just keep going back and trying to help them.
Speaking of safe, we talk about safe spaces. There's been, and I hate to bring this up, there's been in assisted living facilities and other care facilities. There are good ones, there are great ones, and when my mom was about to go to one, it's like there's ones that the nurses in the hospitals will tell you, do not take your people to this particular place on the east side. Don't take. They are, and then there are rankings, to where. How do you overcome any how do you stop a bad review of yourself? Period.
Well, like I said, for me, I'm starting with the difference between me and nursing homes is that a lot of times a nursing home is going to get all of your medical information. I'm finding out all beyond that. What are your hobbies? What are some of the things you enjoy? What do you enjoy eating? What is your favorite music? What's your what did you do in high school? So we're getting beyond the baseline. And so now what we're doing is we're interested in you as a whole, not just your medical care, your health care. And so that is really where I try to, and I'm always asking my patients, family members, what is your expectation? Yeah. Because sometimes I can't meet, if you have unreasonable expectations, I'm one person, and I'm going to do what I can do. But if there's something like, I haven't had any, I will say, I haven't had any expectations that were unreasonable presented at my feet, but I've heard them before from other owners. So, I always tap in with people before the care, after the care, during. Is there something, if there's an issue, I think you just face it head on. We're not going to ignore it. I'm not going to deflect. You know, a lot of people don't take constructive criticism well.
Yeah.
No, I want to know, what is it that you feel that I could have done better to appropriately care for your loved one, if that was the case. I haven't had that, thankfully, but yeah, I think that's what's going to set apart. And we're a more intimate setting, so we get to find out things about them. My last client was a respite client, and I found out where he retired from, and he was a big baseball player, and he was just like a really, really amazing guy. You know, he was bedbound. He had some dementia, but when he had clear days, we talked about really amazing things. His family, I mean, unfortunately, he passed away, but his family talked about me at his service because we had that impact on his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did he pass away of?
I think his initial was dementia, but
Okay.
I'm not sure. He was on hospice, so.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, dementia, Alzheimer's, there's no cure. So, you know, you just go through the process. They call them stages. So, you know, you start at stage 1 and 2, and you can go all the way up to like 10.
Okay. So early Alzheimer's. Do you know what is it? Do you know the stages? How can you tell that somebody is having that?
You know, it's difficult to really tell in the early parts because sometimes they call it age-appropriate memory impairment. So you could be 80 or 70 and maybe you forget some things because the brain can only retain but so much, right?
Right.
We forget things at our age currently, but we don't have dementia, you know. So really what happens is I always would instruct someone to go to their physician if they feel like you're having a lot more forgetfulness than normal, and they will give you it's a test. It's like I know one of them is they'll tell you okay, think of this time in your head, 3:30 on a hand clock. Now, here's a piece of paper and a pencil, and I want you to draw this clock and draw 3:30. A lot of people who have the beginning stages cannot do that. In the process of them talking, they're saying, I'm going to give you 5 objects to remember. A house, a dog, a this, a that, or whatever. And then in the midst of the conversation, they're asking you, so what were those items? If you can't remember that short term, so it's the short term usually that's affected first.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how they say like people with dementia can tell you when they graduated. They can talk about all of their kids' names, things like that, but they can't remember where they put the keys, or they can't remember what they ate yesterday. Those are indications, especially if it's repeated. Like if someone forgot what they ate yesterday, but they're stressed, then that could just be from the stress. You know, I wouldn't say, oh my gosh, I can't remember what I ate yesterday, so now I must have dementia. You know, no, that's not it. You know, but it's like you have to look at the patterns. A lot of anxiety and things like that cause frustration because you just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in turn, how do you, as far as the people, what are you hiring? Are you looking for people now?
No, I'm looking for residents. I would like to fill my beds more. I want to get the dynamic of the house first, and then because I started it the opposite way. I started it with my staff, and I was like, you know, I'm going to train my staff and hire my staff and get them in a flow, and then that way when we get the residents coming in, because at that time we just had the one resident, when we have the residents coming in, we're already working well, but that's going to bankrupt me. You know, so currently I own and operate my facility myself. If I need a break, I lean into my son or my niece, who are also my backup. They're licensed to be my backup.
Okay.
And so, but I'm looking to fill beds. I probably will start hiring before the spring.
Okay.
That's my goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing about it is like, and shout out to your son, shout out to your niece. Pretty much you train them, so
Yeah.
I understand they will do well.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes when you got a business, if you want to pass it down to your children or have that particular thing, then you pretty much put them in places to where they can win, or hopefully, you know, expand and start their own facility, or, you know, just expand their business or do whatever.
Yeah.
Healthcare is like you said that you still have your nursing license and everything?
Yes, I keep them active even though you don't have to be a nurse to operate, because you just never know. You never know when you have to go back bedside. And again, like I said, I work full time as well as a care manager for a managed care company. So yeah, I keep everything active. You know, I think it gives people a safe space as well. They'll say, oh, I like to place my mom. I know that you're a nurse, you know.
So one of the very interesting stories I want to talk to you about is that you worked inside of a prison.
Yeah.
How was that like?
Well,
Oh wow, really?
oh, yeah,
my goodness!
I think you went to go. And
You're so warm. I would have never thought that. Oh my, you were a CO?
No. I was working
She
in
was
the
a nurse,
infirmary. Yeah,
infirmary.
It was just through an agency, and they needed a little bit of help. So I went because the money was great, and it wasn't even. It was
Where
like
was the prison?
West Virginia. Yeah, so I only went for like it was maybe like 4 or 5 days.
Oh, okay.
And when I tell you, it was a dynamic that I take my hat off to those men and women that are in that infirmary, and they deal with so much. They really do. Some people just, I mean, there are a lot of people in prison that have ailments and issues. Some of them just want to come to the infirmary, and they're hoping to see somebody that looks cute. You know.
So was it a men's prison or a women's prison?
It was well, I mainly saw the men. I think it was a female prison on the other side of the property, but I never worked over there with them. So yeah, unfortunately, it was all males.
Right, let's go see what's up with the nurse.
I know, right?
I think I got a headache. Can I lay on your chest? I think I got a headache.
Yeah, right. They're making themselves puke and like, wait a minute, there's nothing wrong with you.
Right. There's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check lower. How many times you get hit on? I'm just.
Oh my gosh, it's like countless. But I feel like I got hit on more in the nursing home.
Really?
Yes.
You know what? I'm not surprised. You know what? I'm not surprised.
Come give me a hug.
I know. Come closer. I can't hear you.
Uncle Cletus. I need a hug.
All right. Yeah. Uncle Cletus was a pervert.
Yes.
He was a pimp or a pervert. One of them back in the day. Which one it was?
And I never got offended because I feel like, you know, as a man, that makes you feel like your blood's still pumping. Just don't try to fondle me or anything, which they did. They tried, you know. But it's like, you know, it's okay. It doesn't bother me. They can barely walk. Whatever.
I'm just thinking of that scene. I'm just thinking of that scene on All the Queen's Men. You know, where the nurse was messing with. With Madam's dad, and then he woke up out of his like, oh, he was doing that, huh? Like, if y'all know the scene I'm talking about, then y'all know. I watched it on YouTube. It is very crazy, but so was that show. But back to that. So you said it was between the prison. So have you had to report a patient while you was working?
No, I wasn't there long enough, I think, for them to act up too bad. And I kind of know how to intervene when I see, and there's always COs present. Okay. So, you know, you're never in a room by yourself with an inmate. So, I've been in this field for so long. You know, I've worked with behavioral health, mental health. I mean, I've had guys that are, you know, they're solid, full of muscle, and they have voices, they're hearing voices, but they look normal. And, you know, I can tell when they're getting a little uncomfortable. I'm sitting in their living room with them. So I'm in a very vulnerable space. But you have to be a very good judge of character and know how to read the room.
Yeah.
So I would read the room very well. And it's like, okay, CO, he's ready to go.
Right, exactly.
I'm done with him. He got to go. You know, so yeah, I haven't had to. The only time you have to file a report is if you really are like feeling
in danger.
In danger.
Okay. So which is worse, the nursing home people or the prison?
That's a good question. Well, I think probably the inmates, just because they have the physical strength.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the nursing home, you're gonna get the inappropriateness with the males, but then you also get racism. You know?
Yeah.
Because at that time I was working in the Jewish community, and it was like the N-word was thrown around like crazy.
Damn.
I was like, what did he just say? You know, and so, but, you know, nobody reprimanded them. They're paying $8,000 a month. Who's going to reprimand them?
Nobody.
Not for me, not for little old me. They let me go first.
Like, you got to go if you feel offended. because he paying her.
He didn't say nigga. He said Izza.
Right.
Well,
It's been nice knowing you. Right.
exactly. I'll lay you off first. You want some severance out of this?
I know, right?
So, what is the best experience you had as a nurse?
Oh, wow. Watching a patient get chosen on the kidney transplant list.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like we were in tears. I was so excited for him because his health was declining. And usually if you are too sick, you get kicked off the list. And it was right there before he had really, and he was younger. He was in his 50s. And I can't say his name because of HIPAA, but he was pretty well known in the city. And so I knew that he wanted to just get back out and be a person in the community. And it's like, this person is beyond this dialysis. And he was starting to get depressed. And it was just really rough. And when I tell you, they finally picked him, they found a match. It was a day of joy. And I will never forget that. And that was probably it was before COVID. So it had to be about 7 years ago.
That's what's up. So... Yeah. I know that I'm looking at your card. You don't have a website now.
I do.
You do have it now?
Okay. I have a website for both businesses.
Okay, so how can people get your service? How can people get the resident? How can people find you and call you and contact you, email you, all that stuff? Put that out there.
Okay. So Vital Care Services, keep in mind that's the mobile post-op care business. I have a Facebook page and a Instagram for that. It's Vital Care Services, LLC. Vital Care Homes, the same. I have Facebook and Instagram, Vital Care Homes, LLC. Again, my name is Crystal D. Harris. So if you look on my personal page, you'll see on my back picture, I'm Everything Vital. So it's on there somewhere. Business numbers for the home is 216-369-7521. For email is vitalcareservices77@gmail.com. You can always email me, DM me, send me a call, text. We do 30-minute free consults for people who want to learn about the facility in reference to placing someone. And I also, like I said, I do consultations. I do one-on-one trainings, and I do one-on-one mentorships as well, which you can reach all of that through my website.
Okay. And is the home care facility a 24-hour facility?
Yes, we are 24 hours. We are on Google. So you can Google me as well. There's Google reviews there for you, pictures, all of that good stuff.
Okay. So the thing about it is, like you said, I said the best thing. So what was one of the craziest things that you ever had to experience as far as, nursing or anything in the healthcare facility?
Nursing, I would say, just like I said, that it was that same patient that he was in his 30s. He had severe mental health issues, but he was very, very muscular. He looked like a bouncer. He wasn't a bad looking guy. He had a lot of girlfriends. I don't think that these women even knew that he had these mental health issues because he had children. And so I went to go and do a home assessment with him. And when he came down the stairs, he didn't have any clothes on. He was butt naked. And I was like,
that's a surprise.
What are you doing? And he's like, you said you wanted to do an assessment. And I was like, I'm not a physician. Put your clothes on. So I said,
Man, you can't lie. Hey, that's funny. That's funny right there.
These people are. But I was calm. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, Miss Crystal. He knew what he was doing.
Yes, he did.
He knew what he was doing. So I bet you he took his butt upstairs. And from then forward, we met at the McDonald's at the corner. Not coming to your house anymore. He's good 275 pounds of muscle and 6'4". Yes. So yeah, that was the craziest, and yeah.
So he just came down
butt naked, swinging and slanging. I was like, oh, well, that was it. I had to
welcome to Jumanji.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, this is weird. You said you were going to do an assessment. I'm like, it's crazy.
Alexis has an image in your head, do you? Don't you?
I'll tell you about it later. It's very interesting.
We can talk about that off air.
Off air.
I'm going to keep that. I ain't getting cussed out. I ain't having no preacher call nobody no names like they calling Pastor Jamal Bryant's wife.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness.
That's nuts.
No, but I definitely had to bring it back in and let him know, no, I'm here as your professional advocate.
Reel it
I'm
back.
not your doctor. I don't do those type of assessments, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get very.
He thought he was getting his colon checked.
Yeah. This is not a prostate check. What are you doing? Yeah,
right.
But I get very stern with them, because if you seem a little too like, you know what I mean, with them, they think it's all sweet.
No,
go upstairs and put your clothes on now.
You start laughing and smiling. He might turn on Genuine.
Yeah, he's start sliding across the floor.
Magic Mike.
I don't want no smoke.
You know what? That's funny. Men are being treated as a piece of meat here on the headline. Dang it. Talking about healthcare. We doing here.
You asked.
I did, and I set myself up for it. T-Brace over there silent as hell.
Right. T-Brace right here doing his quiet.
Damn thing.
No comment.
Like, thank you.
No bells or nothing.
Like, it's some BS right here. I understand. I'm with T-Rex right now. Over there, I ain't co-signing a damn thing. Thank you. I'm like Mike Tomlin right about now. I'm walking off away from this. but the thing about it is like you are praised that you've done everything the correct way, and I'm proud of you as a friend.
Thank you.
So, how much of this takes away from anything you want to do personally? Like, you have a business in healthcare, caring for people, providing a service.
Right.
How much of that takes away from anything personal you want to do? Like, if you want to take, a cruise or something like that.
There's lots of sacrifice. I think people don't understand unless they've had a business before. And I think the cardinal rule is like the first 3 to 5 years, you're going to really, really do a lot of hands-on things unless you have a lot of capital. I don't have a lot of capital. It's just me and a vision and a hope and a prayer. And so it does take away. I usually travel probably 8 times a year. With business, but I have had to turn down a lot of mobile business because I'm here trying to build the business with the facility. And good help is not easy. And when I do go away, my phone is ringing the whole time. So what's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it sounds like here's like, oh, I'm in Vegas and I'm getting calls about when you gonna have XYZ political person on the show. I'm like, it's my birthday. I turned 50. Damn. Hold on for just a second.
Leave me a minute.
Like, I can't say that because this would generate everything else. So
it's business.
So hopefully you can have an advertisement here about your facility on this station. And I'm glad that you came.
Thank you for having me.
What is the one thing that shines having you run both of these healthcare services for people? What is the one thing that you are most proud of doing it?
I think the one thing that I'm most proud of is taking the risk. These are both businesses that took a lot of risk. They're not the most common business. I'm not opening a restaurant. I'm not opening
hair salon.
Yeah,
barbershop.
Right. I'm opening something that is not common. It takes some understanding, vision for a person to even understand the need. And so that's what I'm most proud of, not being afraid. And that's what I try to encourage my mentees is like, listen, if you really desire this, you have to be okay with the risk. You have to be okay with the sacrifice. You're not going to be able to go out all the time. You're not going to be in a position to go to all the birthday parties. And hence, I missed Larry's birthday dinner because I didn't have coverage, and I messaged him, was like, I'm sorry I didn't get to make your birthday dinner. I saw the pictures. It looked amazing.
I know I didn't get to make it either. I had to watch the kids.
Right. It happens. I mean, the thing about it is like, Stacy didn't make it either. I'm still, but
she didn't.
No, she didn't.
I thought she did. Okay.
She had some other things working on to do. So I understand.
She planned on it though.
Yeah, I understand. Being an entrepreneur is rough.
Yeah.
And hell, I almost didn't even throw one, to be honest with you,
Really?
because there were certain instances that now I had in August, I had some other things, plus there was the journalist convention that was here in the middle of August, and other things, and I was like, well, I need to do something for my 50th.
Yeah.
And that was like not last minute, but and also I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money.
Right.
You know,
right.
and the thing about it is like halls and stuff cost X, Y, Z, and I was like, I just want to find a place and do it. I thought I found one, and then it didn't pan out. And plus, I went to like I said, on my birthday, I went to Vegas.
Yeah.
But the day after my birthday, I had an interview. Shout out to the Chief Tom Wetzel.
Okay.
But I know it's hard, but is it rewarding?
Absolutely. I wouldn't change anything about it. I tell young people, choose something that you enjoy and you have a passion for, and you'll never feel like you have had a day of work. That doesn't mean you're not going to be tired. That doesn't mean you're not going to be frustrated and stressed out. But I enjoy it so much, I could not imagine doing anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to go bedside. I have peers that are at CCF, UH, and they're big wigs there. I don't want to be there. I want to be exactly where I am.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So but considering the fact that University and Cleveland Clinic and Metro and everybody was laying people off, do you feel like you're in the right place now?
Absolutely. I encourage people, figure out what your niche is. We were all given some type of creative talent. This is the time. I mean, I thought COVID did it for everybody because everybody came up with a business. Yeah. But it's like, listen, come up with something that is a need for people. Make that a business. It can be small. You can start it in your home. It could be body butters. I don't know, candles, whatever it is, because we have to have strength within.
Yeah.
And support each other.
Man, shout out to LaDoja Wright of the Reverence Design Team, saying congratulations on your business.
Thank you.
And she said she did come to the party. She said it was fun. You missed it.
Hey.
But I understand.
And it's good to highlight, positive things such as building a brand, building a business.
Right.
Because people who are productive aren't always in the limelight for commentary.
Yeah.
And then the people who are fishing to be in the limelight for negative entertainment purposes are being commented on to represent all people in that same market.
Right.
And that's not true.
Yeah.
And
You're right.
So it's good to highlight when someone's being productive and professional.
And that's why I want to highlight her as far as Crystal. Now, let's do, before we wrap up here, give your information again. So how can people get a hold to you as far as bringing residents to you?
Vital Care Homes LLC is my Instagram and my Facebook page. Those are my socials. For those people who are not on socials, the number is 216-369-7521. I do have an email, which is vitalcareservices77@gmail.com. Also, again, I'm Crystal D. Harris on Facebook. That's my personal page. You can also send me a DM. Don't slide in my DM with weird stuff, okay?
What she's saying is, don't do what the dude did as far as exposing himself, thinking you're going to get like an assessment of the body. That's not happening.
Please.
This is business, damn it. Now, y'all, this is not personal. You're nasty.
Right. It's not
Don't be disrespectful or disgusting. That's what I'm. Period, point blank. I'm saying it right. I'll be the bad guy in this situation. I was the bad guy last night when I put up the Pittsburgh Steelers trolling stuff. So all my Steelers fans, they're like, listen, y'all lucky that I ain't do any more. Period. Because I was tired and I was going to go to sleep. Y'all lucky I get sleep. That's a Blackfish stuff for your business. 2 of them. Period. And before we get out of here, what is the one thing you want to say to somebody that wants to start a business or any type of business, or especially the one in the healthcare field?
The first thing I would say is whatever your, if you have a religious belief, if you have a spiritual belief, start there. Find something within. You have to have a passion for what you do and care. So this is not anything you're going to get rich with overnight. Yeah, have a passion for it. Start there. Figure out what you can do every day and you don't feel like it's a day of work.
Exactly. So before we go, I have to get a couple of shout outs. Happy birthday, 51st birthday to my friend Jonathan Burrell, Flash Burrell. Last week he celebrated. And also upcoming And Crystal, you know him. My Uncle Easter Brown is celebrating his 82nd birthday this Friday. 82nd.
Wow, that's a blessing.
82.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Help him out sometimes. I need to hire you or call my cousin Reggie. Like, he trying to drive again by himself. Like, he need a companion, brother.
Yeah.
And like, you in your 80s. We ain't doing this no more.
Right.
You're not 30 no more.
That's right.
So, but yeah, we gonna do that, and we gonna keep it going, and we're gonna make sure you get an ad on here because we need services like yours to, keep going because healthcare is important.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Mental health, physical health. Period. What do you say to the people that don't like to go to the hospital before we get out here?
I understand it's called white coat syndrome normally. And I think that when you go, be open-minded, but be an advocate for yourself. It's okay to collect data and then take it back, and you can get a second or third opinion. But go get your lab work. If you don't know, this is a thing. You'll ask your doctor, what's my blood type? They won't tell you. Go donate blood. They'll tell you what your blood type is. So then now I can say, hey, Larry, this is my blood type. Something ever happens to me, you guys call Larry. He has the same blood type. You know what I mean? We have to have strength within. Be your own advocate. So don't be afraid to go to the doctor. Just go in with an open mind, do your own research and your own, don't start popping pills without researching what's the side effects. And get a blood pressure cuff. Have one at home. Take your own blood pressure. Keep a record of it. It's important. Your blood pressure and your pulse tell you a lot. If somebody in this room passes out right now, the first thing I'm going to do is take your pulse. That tells me a lot about what's happening. Right. Okay? So get that. Go to the doctor.
And stop eating all this crap.
Yes. Stop putting junk in your body and expecting superb results. We have to be very cautious of that. Drink some water. Drink some water.
Right. Shout out to James Webb for bringing me some produce this morning. Lord knows I'm going to need it, and I got some cabbage and stuff. I'm going to do that. And just make sure, you ain't got to eat out every night. Cheesecake Factory is good, but
cook.
It's
okay.
Cook.
It's cook.
And learn how to cook. I had to learn how to cook myself because Crystal ain't married me yet, so I'm mad.
Oh, Lord. Spoiled. You supposed to know how to cook, Larry.
I know how to cook. But I need somebody to take care of my health.
Meals on wheels. They got meals on wheels.
All right. If nobody tells you they love you today, I do. This is Shaka Khan with Mary J. Blige. Disrespectful. It was disrespectful what the Texans did to the Steelers last night. Period. But you ain't gonna talk about that no more. My last troll. If nobody tells you they love you today, I do. See you next week. By the way, we will be helping out Meredith Turner with her fundraising on February 24th. Next week, we're going to have a special guest, an R&B singer. We'll be back next week on the Headline Eye on Nerve DJs, WNRV108.1.com. We're getting on nerves, peace, love, and hair grease. We out of here. See ya.